Make sure this stream is on. What's up, guys? So let me head over here to NQ first. So we had a big CPI day. Lots of movement. We were initially bearish at the start of the week, just due to we developed this fair value gap. We had these lows. Didn't end up going down there because of CPI, which is fine. Now we're working our way up to these highs. In terms of what has developed right now, we have this large imbalance. Got filled partially, and then it's running up through these highs. So next thing, we gotta hit these daily highs. I think we could do that today. Whether or not we get a setup, not sure. There was already a really good setup right here. Let me show you guys. On the 30-second. You have this singular IFVG. You have internal low resistance liquidity run. And with the 30-minute support, as I showed before. You market order in right there, stop loss right there. First target, and then second targets up here. So yeah, that's a really good setup. There's also this fair value gap, but this inversion is really the best. Also, take a look at gold. So I'm still bullish on gold. Hourly fair value gap right here. We did come up, we're reacting to this really small daily fair value gap. I say that's a good thing because I don't think it'll hold. It's pretty tiny. So I think that gives us the opportunity to use that weakness in our favor. So far, how it's developed, came down, took out this imbalance right here. So it's very, very imbalanced right here. You could see it just ran up straight off of CPI, no wick. Just left it wide open. So I think that's why we came down, and then I think now we'll use this 30-minute and hourly to climb back up. So I don't think the move is done there. We'll just have to take a look at what NQ does now. I think the best option here is to wait for a retracement and then try and see if we could capture this high or something a bit higher. So yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I think gold looks pretty decent. I think that next hourly candle can come up here. Looks like we're getting a retracement on NQ. Let's see if we get a fair value gap inverted right here. Didn't come down in the 5 minute, unfortunately. Okay, we did over here on ES. That's your inversion. It's not great. But as long as it goes through this secondary. If it hangs out, not a good setup. If it goes, just runs straight through it. Yeah, that's good. That's solid. See if that holds. 5 minute. So on the 5 minute, what I saw right here, kind of have like a SMT with this fair value gap. Lots of engineered highs. And then we have our other high up here, which was a daily high. Let's see if that holds. So you think following the anatomy on the weekly profile, we consider that since today will be the high of the week? Not necessarily. So what I'm thinking right now, Monday is just like a weird profile. Kind of the sentiment changed, because where we were initially bearish because of the new week opening gap, this fair value gap, and then these lows, it's now turning into more, this is an inversion fair value gap, and these highs are likely to be ran. So I'm thinking potentially Thursday we'll trade up higher, and then we might see Friday as a TGIF. What I'm thinking this profile is we just consolidated mostly on Monday and Tuesday. We just seeked liquidity until we ran on Wednesday. So I'm thinking it's like a midweek consolidation profile. That's what you would call it, essentially. I think we could come back to PM session. I think it's gonna run right now. G. Yeah, we're a little bit more ahead over here on ES, but I think that's fine. I think NQ will still search for the liquidity it needs. Excuse me. Yeah, that was a really good question you had, Benting. Yeah, this is honestly some of the best price action we've had in a long time. Like obvious intention, fair value gaps are working. Yeah, it's really good price action. If you caught a trade today. So far, gold's kind of just consolidating, just seeking more liquidity. And the Q is about to hit our target. Target hit. That was our daily high. Got one more to go. Doesn't have to go up there. We're sitting inside of a 4-hour imbalance. So yeah, we have SMT with those highs. Not that that necessarily makes it like completely bearish, just kind of slows us down. So let me go back over what setups there were. 30-second right here. And then we had that 1 minute fair value gap with all this structure to hold it in place. And then we had this inversion setup right here. Which it was decent. I didn't like the consolidation we had around here, but still worked out. And we had 5-minute delivery, even though we didn't come down into this fair value gap. We had SMT with ES, so that was our delivery. It's always much better to just wait till you get into a more premium before you're entering, because there's a big difference between sorry, I meant discount. It's better to wait for discount before entering a long, because this setup is much better coming down here than trying to get long inside of these higher fair value gaps, where you're way more likely to just get ran out because of these deep retracements, and you just use that momentum off of the retracement to re-enter. So yeah, good setup, good day. Let me know if you guys call any trades. It's sad it didn't hit the 1 minute IFG on NQ. Yeah, yeah, I honestly closed my position right there. I exited 5 initially, and then I saw like our immediate reaction right there. So then I just kind of closed it out. I'm not looking for another setup. So what would need to happen for me to look for another setup is a similar idea to what happened on this leg. So kind of have it come down in more of a discount. Keep these initial highs up here, like have it build up some highs, and then you enter another IFG right here. Like that's the best setup you're gonna get, because you could enter all day in these fair value gaps, but you don't know if they're gonna hold. An inversion fair value gap with internal highs like right here are gonna have an easier time to hold. And here's a tip. You don't have to have a inversion fair value gap necessarily come back and touch the inversion. So right here, as soon as it closes above it, I'm getting long. I'm just gonna market order in. You don't have to wait for it to retouch it. You could play extremely aggressive with it. As long as it inverts, then you're good. So to your answer, not really looking for setups that much anymore. Just kind of watching. Have to see something really good in order for me to get long again. But you can't let that affect your psychology. Like there's gonna be another day. We're gonna have probably good price action tomorrow. We have lots of highs. We have clear intention by the market. Like don't let that get you down. Like we're always gonna have another setup. I thought this morning, because I missed like this initial setup, like okay, I might not get an opportunity. But a really good opportunity showed itself. 60 points right here. So today's trade was break even? No. Today's trade was a banger. We're digging into the weekly now, which I forgot to mention. We do have a weekly inversion fair value gap. I could potentially hold us lower. Not necessarily hold us lower, but could put some pressure on us. Yes, sir. Always another day for another setup. Yeah, I'm gonna stream tomorrow. We have another red folder right here. Really, I think the market this week was waiting for CPI, because that's a very important number that they're waiting for. And I think that's why Monday and Tuesday are kind of more consolidation. 2.5%. I believe actual forecast. Oh, okay. I mean, numbers don't really matter, but It's showing that inflation hasn't gone up. So just something to note. Hey bro, took the IFEG at 9:39. No, I honestly I missed that one. I was expecting to take trades after 9:50. Um which we got one already. But that was the better setup. If you got that one. I understand your plays, but I was more on the side that the opening range gap from 4 p.m. to 9:30 was multiple hundreds of handles. Opening range gap. You mean it coming down into the gap right here, so that you could get long? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I mean, there's no like one size fits all method. Like everybody has their own technique, and yeah, I'm way more consistent with waiting for a retracement than trying to chase a fair value gap. Why would someone take the IFEG? I mean, there's no liquidity sweep down there. What? What are you talking about? There's literally a liquidity sweep right here into a 30-minute fair value gap. That's A plus right there. Let me tell you. Let me write down a list. I like writing these lists down. 30-minute fair value gap. Internal low resistance liquidity run. You have a singular fair value gap in here. There's no other, I guess there's this one, but you have that singular fair value gap. And there's no other fair value gaps in this range. There's no chop, just cut straight through it like butter. Like that's an A+ setup right there. Could we reach the daily fair value gap? Yeah, that was my next target. And that's all you need for price to do is just this sweep, immediately turtle soup off of it, and then invert this fair value gap. Like that's all you need. For this setup, I mean, we didn't even have a full sweep. We just had a SMT. Yeah, you can see we're just kind of hanging out now. I believe that's because we've entered that weekly IFEG, took out this high. Lots of development already, so it's hard to say when it's gonna blast off again. I'm gonna take a look at gold now. Okay, so we're sitting inside of that 4-hour fair value gap. This actually looks like a decent setup. I'm not gonna take it, but if this inverts within this minute, let me clean this up. That's 4-hour. Gonna take off this. I'm gonna tape read this. Not taking it. I mean, it hasn't fully inverted it. So I wouldn't enter until it fully inverts it, but I'm just gonna tape read it. Not the best sweep, but gold acts a little differently. It doesn't need to always sweep on the lower time frame. Like as long as you're taking out some of these major range lows, then it's gonna go. Okay, so inverted there. See if it runs. Again, not taking this trade, but just gonna take a look at DXY. Dollar is super strong. Yeah, I'm really not seeing the momentum I expected today from gold. Luckily I haven't gotten into anything with it, but yeah, that setup did not work. Still, we have that 4-hour fair value gap, so still think we're bullish. I don't really see a reason to trade lower. ES is just eating up that 4-hour fair value gap. And Q, let's see how we're doing. Trading up to those highs. I gotta clean this up. I was making a video. When this was created, this was very suspect. Like these highs as well. Like that tells me that we were gonna eventually come back to them. Wasn't expecting it to come this early, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Lots of opportunity. Nothing to worry about if you miss something. See if this fair value gap holds up here. fair value gap's kind of holding right there. Go back to gold. Have this 5-minute could potentially invert. These highs are suspect. Watch those. Watch that fair value gap, see what happens. It's moving real aggressively now. A bit weaker now, but still looks decent. Oh, you have this fair value gap in here. Oh, 1 minute's holding pretty well. Okay, that was really weird. Really weird closure right here. It kind of jumped up. Okay, well, 3-minute looks good. Looks cleaner than 5-minute. We still have this other fair value gap. I don't think it'll hold. That's lower. I think it could run up to these highs. We'll see. it's really choppy in here now. One minute, 2 minute. I'd say this would work if it wasn't. This inversion would work if we didn't just hang out in it. If it was this first candle that came up and inverted it, then that would be much better. But because of this consolidation, it's not that good of a setup. Kind of close a little weak right here. All these built up highs right here, that's really an indication for a decent setup, if something setups, for us to go long. Not that I'm gonna go long again, but if you wanted to go long, that's what your setup would be. Just based on those internal highs. And then you potentially see if it continues up, running higher. Alright, I'll probably end the stream in a few minutes, the next minute or two. If you guys have any questions, let me know. There's nothing much serious going on. XAU not moving too efficiently. NQ is just consolidating now because we hit most of our targets. I wonder how YM is doing. Seems to be trying to catch up. This is insane. Alright, I'm gonna head out, guys. You guys have a good day. Good stream. Got lots of good price action in here. So, yeah, we'll see if XAU wants to trade high.